Hey, what's up, John? Going to do live commentary here of your play, so it's going to be cool. I get to kind of see some hands of yours in real time.
A session of 1K on Ignition. So I guess already kind of a spot in the top right table versus one of the weaker players that has a fish, free fish sort of fish tag. I think I'm just gonna check raise this hand smallish here and try to get it in on turns.
I play this the same way too against the stack sizing. I wouldn't want to potentially have some action killing cards or cards that are really bad for your equity peel off on the turn. Um, since you block basically a lot of his continue there, maybe you can just sort of bet and maybe he'll float a little light and just get it in on the turn anyway. Obviously, if he has an ace, you're going to kind of get all the money, so get the money early while you can.
I'm actually not sure whether this guy's fish might have misplayed him.
I think I'll speed this up a little bit. I know you said you were worried about dead time. I'll just make it go a little faster, and then see where that gets us. I can just pause, obviously. Since we did a lot of stat work in kind of the last meeting in terms of probes and everything like that, and using more stats, I would add those into your HUD now as a general commentary. Curious how often you hop in the 500 Zoom pool, or if you're basically just playing regular tables at 510 plus now. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Oh, this seems pretty standard. I assume obviously the fives is just a call too. Obviously clear fold now.
Might start opening to a slightly larger size if there's some play C4 and E5 never fold.
No sense in bluffing. Yeah, might as well protect. There's a lot of ace X out there. Good to see what button has.
I think if I could start out with a range bet, I think, but exactly, I think maybe plays better as a check call.
Yeah, exploitively, obviously, like great for your range, but exploitively for this exact hand,
I don't know how close the spot is. Generally tend to think that fish betting pot or overbetting are pretty strong. I think having a 10 is kind of not great because one to have like king 10 jack 10s.
I'm curious what else you're thinking here. You're obviously thinking something.
Feels a little tight, but just a fold here.
I wonder if that's a spot where we ever consider kind of like check raising all in as, forcing maybe if he has a draw there, instead of just, if you're check calling turn there, I assume you're check calling all of non-diamond Broadway rivers. But is he going to barrel a third river? I don't know, curious spot. I wonder if you check raise all there sometimes to get action from his draws.
Not gonna have much of a flying range from the small blinds, unless the big blind comes fish or the winner is the fish themselves. But he definitely are some banks that have flatting range from the small blind, if they know some fixed flatting games like pocket sixes, pocket sevens. I don't really know what else is getting thrown.
I wouldn't do it either. Just I think that it just becomes far too likely to get squeezed. Like all the reasons but if you never really developed it before in the past, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to start to work that in now for any other reason than there just being a super huge fish.
If it's suited, it would have been normally would have been a full 3 versus a small blind 3 bet, but given that this guy went kind of a smaller sizing, I think I would have probably killed this 3 bet position. But if he had sized to like the regular kind of reg sizing of one of the big blinds, I'd probably just fold the big bigs. Definitely gonna be 3 betting against him here.
I think that makes a lot of sense with 8-6 hearts. I don't think it really serves well as a 4-bet, just because you're blocking. He's not basically 3-betting probably a lot of 8s, so you're kind of blocking. His range is already pretty strong.
Wild. One bet random. But wasn't sure what I was expecting to see, but definitely not fun. I think the question I asked myself here is whether it's better to go for a small bet and try to get called by a king, or check and they put a king on themselves. I guess good decision there, so bet. Maybe they would have bluffed. Yeah, I think definitely have to keep it better than just check.
It's a curious spot once he checks back the turn. I mean, the ace king is so strong for his range, and the 2 is such a blank that he's probably so weak. But will he ever rebluff? I'm not sure. I would probably just fold this 10-2 suited.
I'm probably just gonna try to get this 10 showdown if I somehow remember. Feeling that one or maybe both ace players would have bet queen. Don't know if they pull up often enough on check 2 though, which is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect big blind to bet here at all. Maybe as like a 7, maybe there's some call continue here. But I would just go small here and just hope for the best. But it seems like everyone's pretty uninterested in either bluffing or calling, and so I wouldn't really expect much. Maybe for that reason, it's better to go big because it looks a little bit bluffier, and so if the calling range between the 2 of them is super elastic anyway, try to get the lower frequency call there with a bigger river bet.
We'll be doing kind of checking on the flop.
Hey, I'm busy right now. You gotta close the door. I'm busy.
And probably gonna keep the small size with all of my hands that are gonna bet.
It's such a high equity, high EV hand. I generally think on, there's kind of less hands that the villain can have, like 4s and 2s, that, you're not really hitting a lot of those, and 10s are just kind of whatever. A lot of overcards come. I generally think you can almost range bet like 40-50% there instead of smaller, maybe as a way to just build a bigger pot.
I think if you could have 2 sizes or have like a large size check strategy and start flipping like overpairs like this into the large size, but most spots I try to simplify to just see betting a third. The vast majority of flops I flip with that strategy, I'm just gonna default to.
Cool, that makes sense. It's not super exciting to bloat the pot anyway with 9s here. It's not like you're really looking for 3 big streets of big value.
I feel like kind of a mad turn for my range. 5 small blind, not 100% sure what that's going to mean. It could just be that he's like a slightly weaker player that is like finding some hand that he shouldn't, or over 34 hands. I mean, it wasn't too reggy. Like he could just have a lot of hands that he was supposed to have. I'm actually just going to check this one back and either bluff get the river or maybe value the river myself.
I'd be worried to try to squeeze in a bet here on the river. I mean, it's kind of like the only thing you'd really want is like a queen or king to roll off.
Interested to see what he's going to show up with.
You know, it's pretty obvious that you have an easy like calling one street there. You know, nines just have so much high equity, high EV to show down there. So that's definitely, yeah, I'd just try to show down there. Instead of try to squeeze out a little extra EV that is probably kind of hard to get and exposes you to being check raised.
Being a flat out of small blind, but maybe it's more difficult to open it up because of the also unfortunately one of the hands that definitely was called and that nine five suited is going to be a prudent plus. Both the actions that I do pre-flop are pretty pure, especially against players that are regs. I just think there's less value in playing a mixed strategy, especially pre-flop on ignition. You're just a non player to most of the pool. So yeah, like a hand like nine five suited, I won't really be mixing. It'll just be one prudent.
I'm curious what you like about that hand. 9-5 suited. And with a little bit more behind, if like you just went 9x there, I generally tack on like one more basically to kind of make the bluff look more reasonable for stack depths. Just because, you know, I'm so uninterested in getting called there and playing 9-5 post swap.
I'm going to be c-betting with range on the swap. Feels a little weird on you're doing this with ace king and obviously just like a lot of times holding out worse and getting called by better, but again, I think it's a reasonable simplification to my strategy to just do that with range and I kind of like figure out what the hand going the turn.
That makes sense. Get to the turn in the node, you know, even if it does make their range a little bit stronger, you're still much more comfortable in that node and you keep yourself kind of like uncapped and just protecting all that equity. That could maybe be a check raise bluff on the flop if you need to find more. Maybe that could be a really good check raise bluff on the flop if you need to find more aggressive check raises. If you're not check raising enough. Backdoor draws to appeal to. The eights are definitely better for your range than his. You know, the queen kind of unblocks. You know, you can just have a lot of ace x, king x, other kind of hands that could be folding there. And if a queen does peel, then it's going to be an overpair and probably value bettable. And he shouldn't really have any unless it's like ace queen.
Range pretty bad for our hand, obviously. I think I'll be order running these ace flops as the pre-flop better range. And now obviously just checking kind of this. Might be this queen's to showdown.
Tough spot. I mean, the equity of your hand against his range on the flop is just so high, but yeah, I definitely agree with just betting the flop.
Expect to win too often. Yeah, I think it's one of the things I was going to say, like some sort of 9x or probably pair like
10, 10, 8, yeah, something like that. That makes the most sense because he had the backdoor spades there, straight draws, but yeah, there's certainly not a lot of like 10-9s that are in his range, but that does make up the few combinations that you kind of get to show down against there. So that was nice. That was actually, pretty fortuitous.
Oh no, handling pocket eights, calls quarter pot, or calls even better than quarter pot 3 overs.
Probably not. It shouldn't. Not on your like best board.
I'm gonna start bluffing the 9-8. I think I can find some way more natural chop offs like 9-9s or spades, or I don't know, something with a good shot or something like that. I don't have to start bluffing everything. I think if I get to the river like turn and go check, then I would start bluffing with 8-9. I think 8-9 like then falls down to becoming like one of the worst hands that I get to the river with in that manner. And I think maybe I can start thinking about bluffing close to everything on the river. But at least on the turn, I think I can sort of hold off on taking all those like 0 equities and turning them into bluffs.
I may feel the other way. I mean, that's tough because generally, I mean, yeah, you have no showdown value, but I guess, you don't really have great blocker properties to anything. And it seems kind of obvious that generally people have he's probably going to protect his own river call down range. So he basically has to have like super amount of air too for that play to work. I don't know. It's tough. I would expect that you wouldn't bet that with full frequency bluff that full frequency on the river. That's probably like a probe spot that we could get more in depth in and kind of like switching around the bucketing of ranges and everything like that. Maybe that's a overbet on the turn or something like that. That's a curious spot. I would wonder if the lessons from last Friday's meeting about switching kind of like range perceptions, what we're doing with the sizing on turn and river probes, if 9-8 should be bucketed somewhere else because its equity is just so low.
Kind of off. Probably gonna be the bottom of my offsuit open range. I think suited is gonna be probably pretty close to the bottom of my range.
I agree with both of these 10-8 plays. Taking aggressive action with them.
Probably just gonna be back in third range. Like I said.
Beautiful. And I would just show down with that ace too.
Definitely could be a question size, I think. I think my like limiter is size a little bit. I definitely think I could question size. I generally like go bigger when I have straights and like don't block any bad pairs or like good pairs. Or maybe there's something I could be doing more exploitatively, like in those spots, especially when it's overcard on the turn and I expect to have a little bit more fold equity when there are overcards. Yeah, maybe there should be a little bit more thought into having like balance is what it is. I think like really strong hand like straights. It's got straights. I'm not exactly sure what else I want to throw in there.
So I'm in a curious spot. I mean, does he have 16 combinations of 5-4 off or what? And then, you probably have 16 combos of 10-8 where he may not even have more than like 2, given he may 3-bet some of those pre-flop and everything like that. So, I don't know. Curious spot that I think matters a lot just all through like range construction. So that's cool. Good to watch you play. I don't think that there was ton of like general comments that I had, but I'll leave them all in the thread. And cool. That's that.